We are now recording.
We're live in Congo Square, formerly known as Armstrong Park. To any visitor or anyone passing Armstrong Park is pretty much what you'll see on the outside, but I'm going to take you into this area known as Congo Square. During the late 17th century and early 18th century, slaves gathered on Sundays in Congo Square and celebrated their culture, giving a good example of everything around this. During the late 17th century and well into the 18th century, slaves gathered at Congo Square on Sundays and sang, danced, and drummed in authentic West African style. The rich legacy of the African culture was allowed to continue here despite the French and Spanish colonial rule of the time. This is a very important time for not only slaves, but it was also an important part of increasing the spirit of jazz and blues in New Orleans, as many spectators began to come and gather and watch these individuals partake in certain cultural practices. Now, well into the early 19th century, as more immigrants came into the city, we saw the exposure of the we saw results from the Haitian Revolution, some of the other West African communities who came and migrated down to New Orleans and brought the culture together and formed what we now know today as jazz and blues. Right here we have a pretty good depiction, a good example of what that may have looked like. Now,
Should I pause it? Now we do.
if you look really closely, this is an example of scarification. If you're talking about African culture, then this is a primary example. The sculptor did a very good job of depicting one of, well, I'm not going to say Africa, a very popular practice in the West African community known as scarification, a way of marking yourself, dignifying yourself, struggles, what you've been through, level of maturity. It represents a variety of things, and different cultures in different regions will tell you a different story. But hey, history's history.